Time now is 5:55. Here is your morning rush. The Trump administration is expected to reduce the amount of troops in Afghanistan and Iraq. A U.S. official says the administration is expected to cut the number of troops in Afghanistan by half to 2,500 by January 15th. The Pentagon also expects to cut the number of troops in Iraq to 2,500, a reduction of more than 500. Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter Jack Dorsey will testify before the Senate about their platform's post-monitoring. Now, both are accused of alleged anti-conservative bias and their platform's handling of hate speech and misinformation. Also, Walmart is planning free Thanksgiving dinner for everyone. The big box store is teaming up with a few other companies to try to feed millions of Americans and to make the holiday season less stressful for families who may have tighter budgets due to the pandemic. For all the details of the free dinner, you can find that on our website at kins5.com, and that is your morning rush.